Hello everyone. So today I'm going to cover one topic which is bigger compared to the previously released videos. Um, so today's topic will be to cover how to create game in Unity, to set up everything for Facebook SDK, to upload it to Dropbox, and finally to publish it onto Facebook. And I will cover for the new Unity Facebook SDK 7.2.2. So it will be quite new tutorial which will involve material which cannot be so easily found online at the moment. Well, material is online, but it's a bit difficult to find at early stages of Facebook SDK 7.2. So let's go ahead and launch browser. Go to Facebook developers, just like that. developersfacebook.com. Here we are. Once you get in developers page, you will be probably asked if you want to create new app, how to create it, and you probably want to be asked, you will be asked to sign in as developer as well. So just one step, you just click confirm and that's it. Now as I want to create completely new app, I just click add a new app like that, and then I choose Facebook Canvas because my Unity will be running through Canvas, and then I need to type a name of my of a game, how I will be calling it, and the game will be game. What kind of game? Game test 1. Create new Facebook app ID. Now, no, that's a new game. Category, choose a category. This will be games. Subcategory, let's choose simulation because I'm doing nothing else in this game. I will make it as simple as possible and it will be like something like simulation. Create app ID. So now it is creating a new game, and it will take a little bit a while. And now we can just skip quick start and get to dashboard. So here is my game test 1 with some settings. At the moment we cannot do anything else because we don't have a game yet. So what we are going to do is to go to Unity and to create some kind of game. So let's launch Unity and create new, let's see, Facebook demo 1, let's say like that, 3D, create game. It creates an empty project, And now I need Facebook SDK to be able to do something related with Facebook. Now here in browser, I'll find Docs and Unity SDK. And now we need to download Facebook Unity SDK, which we will get by clicking this button. Let's save it on a desktop. Save. And if I just go onto my desktop and double click it to extract it into subfolder, because it's a zip file. So that's it. And I can delete this zip file as we won't need it anymore. So let's go ahead and look what is inside. Inside there is Audience Network SDK and Facebook SDK. We will only use Facebook SDK in this tutorial, and we need to import this package, Facebook SDK.unity package. So let's go ahead into Unity, and to import the package we need to click Asset, Import Package, Custom Package. Now we want to go to Desktop and select what we just downloaded, Facebook SDK, this file, and click Open. Now we want to select everything and just click Import, and it finally imports everything. To make it more organized, I will just create a new folder to save my files. Let's call it Game. And here is completely empty scene now. What else we can do to finish the part with Facebook is in Facebook, because it appeared the Facebook once we opened a package, we need to set up our app through settings, because at the moment it will be not recognizing anything through here. So let's go back to Facebook, to our Facebook page, click our how we called game test 1, and app ID is within dashboard, and this large number. So Command C to copy in Macs, Control C to copy in Windows. Go to Unity, app ID, and Command V to paste Macs, Control V to paste in Windows, and press enter. And app ID has been submitted. So it will recognize now that the name is, let's say, here we can put anything we want, that we linking it with this app, and everything will work. Now this one shouldn't appear here. And now we need to build a game. So now what I will do, I will make a very simple game where player just clicks something into keyboard or with mouse. I will make like that there would be a counter counting how many times player clicks A button in the keyboard. So I wrote a few scripts, there are just 2 of them, to test it out that it would work properly. So I have them just right here inside my older build and within my folders. So it's counter and fb.login. So I just quickly copy them, and then we will go through and I will explain it how it works. So here I need to go to Facebook demo and to paste them into our game folder, and then they appear like that. Now let's open up these 2 scripts and start looking what we are doing, both counter and FB login. Firstly, the game itself is set up by this counter script, where I am counting number of presses in a key. So here I have this click counter, and I have update function where I have this detection get key down, and I'm checking a key, and if it is pressed I need to increase the counter by 1. Now this one, I don't want this one. This is already with FB login. Now I want to display how many times it is pressed, what it is done in this part. So it displays at specific location of the screen how many times it has been pressed. If I click save and I go to Unity and attach this counter to any kind of game object, let's say to my camera game object, I should be able now, after saving, let's save the scene, game and default or something like that, save. And now let's go ahead and click run and see if it works. So now here we are. It is printing out that it's 0 because A key has never been pressed. Now if I press A key, it increases by 1. If I press again, it increases by another 1. And if I keep clicking it up, it keeps increasing. Now what I want to do with Facebook is that I want that player would be able to submit into Facebook as a score this amount of clicks, and that it would be saved into Facebook scores, and next time player loads the game, that he would be able to see what the score actually is. So to do that, we need some access to Facebook, and this is where FB login comes in. This is the next script. So here we have basically default stuff. At the beginning it checks if if FB is initialized. The syntax is just copied from the web, from Facebook reference, and if it is not initialized, it initializes and calls this init callback, and once it gets initialized, I want to continue with login. So here I have this my login function. Now, to be able to work with scores, I need publish actions, because otherwise there can be some problems. And to be able to do that, I need to log in with publish permissions. So about this point is different from the old Facebook SDK. If we go to Docs, Unity SDK, I guess it's in somewhere in upgrade guide, or probably just in reference. Yes, so here we have these two options, login with read permissions or login with publish permissions. Usually it is not recommended to use publish permissions, only read permissions. But as we will work out with scores and scoreboards, we want to use publish actions, and we want to log in with publish permissions. Next, it's going through this auth callback, and once it gets login, it executes this part of code. So firstly it calls load my score, and let's go ahead and look at this one. So this is load my score, which is going through me scores. This is the syntax to write. It's fb.api when there is the string, and now it's http method.get. And finally I have this load score callback function, which I am using here. It has argument igraph result, which is different from also from previous ones. And yes, this is different one. Now I'm looking load score callback. I'm looking at this one. So it has this igraph result, and basically the syntax to read scores goes through this way. I'm loading data as a list of objects, and if I'm loading the first time, if I have never been playing this game, there is nothing set. I need to set something and stop right there, because there is nothing to be loaded. So it says if it loads up a list and the list is empty, it means that there are no scores. And it says to set score. So it sets score here. But about setting score a bit later. Now, if we really have a score and we want to load it, I'm taking the 0th value of this list, and then I'm asking this through the long variable to get the score. So what this actually do, it loads score from this data dict onto this score variable. And finally, I didn't talk about this part yet. Finally, I want that my score would be loaded into this counter script. So I use that this FB login would be linked with counter, and also that counter would be linked with FB login, so that these two scripts could actually talk with each other and send commands to each other. So once I'm loading score in the counter, I'm assigning click counter as a score. So here what is happening, at the beginning, when I successfully logging in, I loading click counter what was set at the moment when player left last time when he played. So if it is not 0, it loads some score value which player got at the point he left. So next bit is actually to check how it works. There is one more thing to do to actually set scores, because at the moment the scores are not being set. And here is what it is done. It is done through this line. I have this FB login linked with my counter script, and I can send to set score which is this function. So once I'm sending the score to save as int, it uses firstly it translates it into a string, and then it converts into this dictionary, which is then through fb.api posted into Facebook as score data. And it again uses delegate igraph result. Now you probably noticed that all this kind of script is quite short, and it doesn't anymore uses util, which was previously needed, or at least in previous versions you want to use util thing. And you also don't need to use any more deserializers and so on, because everything now it's possible to do in this way as we're doing right now. So it does everything automatically, deserializing and everything else through the Facebook API. And we just setting up a score like that. So now I am Uh, Now it's the time actually to check it out how it works. So we already checked that score increment is working, and now I want to work out with Facebook. Now here I need to set up that FB login would be linked with counter, and counter would be linked with FB login. So I just click on this small dot, this small circle, to choose the object where it should be linking to. So here is main camera, double click, and here main camera, double click again, and now scripts are linked and everything should be working. So once I click run, mock login dialog appears, and I need now to get access token because it's a way how to log in through editor. If I click find access token, it will find my access token to actually to log in. It asks, because I never logged in, I need to grant a permission to this app to actually log in. So let's go ahead and log in with it. This is the access token. Just select it, Command C to copy, Command V to paste, and we want to log in with success, so just send success, and now I'm logged in. So now, as I didn't have anything set, it was the first time it has 0, but once I click A, it keeps increasing, and it sends to Facebook each time I'm pressing A. It keeps sending to Facebook to save the score. So let's say I'm happy with 5, and now I'm stopping this thing. And now I want to restart, and now when I will restart and log into Facebook, my counter will be loaded to continue from 5. So let's go ahead, paste the same access token, and it is not working because this user does not have publish actions. So what I actually need to do is to create test users. So in apps, let's go to apps, and there are roles, and in the roles there are test users. So I want to create these test users, and to make them, let's say I want to create like 3 users, and to authorize test users for this app. So for login permissions, I want to add also publish actions, and I guess just to create test users, and it will take a few seconds to create. So once test users are being created, I can log in with test user accounts and test how it works. So I have these 3 test users, Margaret, Lisa, and Donna. So let's use this Margaret thing edit, click edit uh, to load the menu, and there is get an access token for this test user to get the token to log in with this user. Submit and copy, close. And now let's go back to Unity, start it up, and log in with her, and send success. Yes, and now I see that it's 0. Actually, I forgot one thing to do. No, I didn't forget. It should be sending now properly. So let's go ahead and click several times to set it up to 5 and wait a little bit, because, well, it should be quite fast, but who knows, sometimes it takes a bit time. And then to stop and click again, it should start from 5. And now, as I started, it says it is 5. So what it means? It means that this user has published actions, and it can save and load scores and work with scoreboard. Now here, what we have here, I didn't display it properly. Here we have where we had this friend list, which we haven't seen before. Now, about the friend list, we're starting up from this part, and it is load scoreboard. It loads the full scoreboard of my friends, and at this point I'm just loading free friends scoreboard. The syntax is quite similar like with loading my score, just it has some additional things here. And again, http method.get load scores. This was score callback. This one is scores callback. We have it here. We use again iGraph result, and this time I have encounter script two arrays, two lists. One is string filled with friend names, and another one is int filled with scores, with these counts. So when this function is called, these new lists are getting allocated, and the syntax now is similar. It's the same syntax to get data list as before. Now we don't need to call again this function if list is 0, because it is not 0 as before. It was set to as here it was set score to be 0, so it will never be 0 here at this point. At least it shouldn't be 0. Next, I want to loop through entries in this data list, and as it got 3 results, it will be never more than 3 results here. Here is the amount of results, how much you got. There, in my score, I just got 1 result, which is my own score. Here I'm getting friends scores. And once I'm looping through the list, the syntax is the same as before. It just takes first entry from the dictionary and loads the score in the same fashion as long variable as it was in load score callback. Next thing, as I'm loading score as long, I also want to load username. This is slightly different. This is done in this way, and when it loads the username this way. And finally, we're getting allocated score as long and username as string. And in the loop, it keeps adding into these counter lists, into these two lists, friend names and friend counts. So it adds username into friend names and score as int, because I need to cast int from long to friend counts, and it fills these lists. Now what is happening here? Before, as we didn't had allocated these arrays, we had no loop. It didn't loop, it was 0 here, so it never looped through this point. Now as we have some entries, we start to printing out something here. So it prints out these values. Firstly it comes friend name and then friend count. So this is exactly what we had here. If I go again to get the access token, Command C to copy and then paste here, I have it like that. But now I just have one entry myself, so I actually need I actually want to put here not just myself, but that it would be a scoreboard of my friends. So let's add some friends to this user. To do that, manage this test user friends. And now I want to add Lisa and Donna. Yes, Lisa and Donna. Now for this, for Lisa, Margaret is already friend, so I just need to add Donna. Yes, so we see that Margaret is friend, Donna. And for Donna, both above should be friends now. So yes, that's right. Now we want to log in with Margaret again. And see what it gives. Paste. And now we have the list. So we have at the top Margaret, then Lisa, and then Donna. So now Margaret has 5. Lisa and Donna never logged into game and has 0s. Now I want to log in with one of them and to set some scores. Let's go ahead and log in with Lisa. get access token, login with Lisa, paste. So yes, I'm 0 now. If I click A, I want now the score that would be above. So this list would be rearranged and Lisa would come at the top. So I want to make it, let's say, like 7. Stop right there. Click play and Command V to log in. And I see that Lisa appears at the top. Now, if I keep clicking A, I'm starting not from 0 but from 7. So if I click A, it becomes 8, 9, and so on. So if I log out and I log in, I see that Lisa starts. Lisa has now 11 and it continues from 11. So this script also allows to go one way to keep increasing your score, because I only set to be allowed that counter would be able only to increase. So now, as we've seen that it works nicely in editor, we want to make the game be possible to play online. And to do that, I'm going to build it into 2 builds. One will go into WebPlayer and another into WebGL. If you noticed, there is one strange thing. For example, here is a tick encounter, and for FB login there is no tick. This is a simple trick to fix it up. If you go to FB login, you would find out that there is no start function here. This is why there is no tick. So if I put start function somewhere here and save, I would immediately see that the tick appears. So that's interesting point to mess up with some of your colleagues, to remove the tick that somebody won't be able to disable the script or something like that, but that's not what the tutorial is about. So let's go ahead and actually build up the project, build settings, and now I want to build, let's say, as web player, switch platform and add current. Click here, click build. Now I want to name it something like to create a new folder in which I will put these builds. Demo, let's call it like that, and create folder. And now this one is web player. Let's create build like that, building up. And that's it. And then I want the same thing to build for WebGL. switch platform. Let's clean it up here, add current, and click build, go to Facebook demo and WebGL, save. This one takes a little bit longer because WebGL is still in preview, I think. So what I actually want to do is I need one more thing to do with these things, because I want that player, when it goes into Google Chrome, that it would launch, that the game would launch through WebGL, because in recent times it happened that browser started to drop support for Unity WebPlayer, and WebGL looks like a future platform. So it is possible to build this this hybrid approach at the moment when a player launches a browser which doesn't support WebPlayer, that the game would load into WebGL. And for example, if player will launch a Firefox, for example, that the game would start as WebPlayer. So to do that, to realize this plan, there has been made a script in Facebook reference, which is in Unity, again in Unity SDK, and I guess it should be upgrade guide. It's not here. Could it be in reference? Probably not. Probably it's in getting started section. Is it here? Yes, it's getting started canvas section. Here is basic steps which I'm going through, and here it was a script for this hybrid deployment, but unfortunately not everything works here. I noticed that there is needed some modifications which I did in my script, and I will just copy again in the same fashion like I did with my C# scripts. So I had it here, this one, copy, go to demo, here it is, paste. Now this is a simple text file. We can open it up through text, and now we have this in Facebook demo. I need to change this one a little bit. So copy paste. So what is different from the script provided in reference guide? The difference is that I noticed that in a reference these relative links doesn't work so well, and there is also missing else statement here inside with if, because sometimes it happens that it goes through there but it doesn't go there. So yeah, so that's yeah, it doesn't always go that way somehow, but this way it works perfectly fine. So let's save it actually, and now the next step is to, as we have built everything, now we need to upload it. So we will use Dropbox to upload our game to Dropbox, and finally we will finish with setting it up. So Dropbox, let's go to my Dropbox account. Here is publish, public. Let's create actually new folder and name it as demo, Facebook demo. Create folder, and where is that Facebook demo? It is here. Now I want to upload all my builds just right here. So I click upload, and I just upload everything what was here. So index, now WebPlayer, and finally WebGL. Now notice I dragged onto this box, because if you would click add files, it would only allow to select single file, not something like multiple files. So it seems to be working through dragging, but not manual selection. This was a bit bigger file. Now WebGL file seems to be still quite big ones. So a few more files left, and that's it. And then that's it. Click done. And now this index is our preloader, which we want to set. So let's actually go ahead and set it up in this how it's called, in this in my apps. So let's go to the app page, and then we want to add a platform inside settings menu, add platform, Facebook canvas, and here is this box where we need to put the link what to load, because at the moment it doesn't know where my game is. So I just copy index public link, Command C. This one doesn't always work, so I just use manually Command C or just copy, and then to put it here. And if I click Save Changes, it appears this red warning mark. It says that URL must end up with slash or question mark. So if it is HTML file, it has always to end up with it should always end up here in secure canvas as this question mark. It just works this way. So now if I click Save Changes, it should work. And now everything has been saved. Now I want to make up my app finally to be public. But here is a way to make app public, to go through status and review and to click this one to be public. But it says you must have a valid contact email specified to make this app available to all users. To set the email, you need to go here. So let's put email. Which is this one. And I can just click save. Everything has been saved. Go to status and review, and now we see that it's finally open. So I click on this, and yep, I just confirm. And finally I see that this icon is green. It means that it's available for public. So now if I go to settings, Facebook canvas, and this is the URL which can be used to access the app. So Command C, if I would open up empty tab, Command V and click enter, and we have loading it up in WebGL. Now we see it online, and it loads up with all these Facebook menus around. Now it's for the first time it's asking if I want to continue and I want to submit my details. Let's click OK. Now it asks that it could post something, but let's say I don't want to mess up into my timeline or with my friends. I don't want to post to public, so let's put that it would be only me. And then finally click OK. So that's it. It seems to be loaded everything. It reads my name and it finds up that score is 0. Actually, it sometimes works. I suspect that it will be working right now. If I click A, it was not active. So now if I just click here with mouse and I can keep clicking A to increase my score. So now it is 11. Now if I close this window and reopen it again and click enter, I'm curious what I will see. So it's loading up, and it's loaded that the score is 11. So I suspect what is happening. I didn't test it properly. I suspect that app is when app goes public, it somehow allows to save scores. Another thing is that I'm checking it through online now, not through the editor. What might be different thing. So actually, because player always plays a game online, nobody plays within editor. You just go on Facebook and launch your game. So that's it. Now there is one more thing to do. I want to check how it will be loading in Firefox. And let's go ahead, copy this link again and go into Firefox and paste it up, Command V. So I'm not logged in here. It asks me to log in. And let's go ahead and log in. And now I see that it loads with Unity WebPlayer. So once I'm starting up with Firefox, I'm loading up with WebPlayer. And I see also that I loaded that scores are now 11. So it means that I'm starting up my game at a different time with the previously made progress, and I can continue playing with this score. So basically what we have now, we have that we covered how to set up in a new SDK. We covered how to set up that scores would work out. We covered the hybrid deployment into two platforms, and that it would be based on what browser player is using. And finally we tested everything out by publishing our game to be public for everybody. We also covered the part how to upload files into Dropbox and how to build the project. So it seems that almost all these parts has been covered. I guess it should be pretty clear now how to create Facebook game from scratch, and which would have scores and where to save it and what to do next. And I hope you like this video, and that's it. So thanks for watching, and hope you like it, and see you next time.